In today's set review, we're gonna be taking a look at set number 75373 Ambush and Mandalore Battle Pack. This set got released in June of 2024 for a retail price of roughly $20 and 22 euros. It comes with 4 minifigures total and 109 pieces. It is based on the third and most recent season of The Mandalorian, and you can also combine the set with the past Vizsla Moff Gideon battle set from basically the same scene if you choose so. It is pretty rare, but I like it when LEGO does sets that you can combine. On the front of the box, you're gonna see all of the figures in action around the build that is included, and on the back side you see another angle and some play features. When opening the set, you get a total of 2 bags, and this time without numbers, an extra bag for the accessories, 3 loose plates, and the small instruction manual with a pretty straightforward building process. Taking a look at the figures first, you get both of these blue Mandos, which do look really cool. The first one is the Mandalorian warrior, who has some awesome printing all over his torso and his legs. The helmet looks pretty good as well, but that is pretty much to be expected, as LEGO's Mando figures usually are up to a pretty high standard. He comes around with a jetpack and some printing underneath it. The head is just black, so no particular character here. The Mandalorian Night Owl is the second minifigure in the set, and she has just as awesomely detailed prints on her torso and legs, and just as the warrior, she has a black unprinted head and back printing under the jetpack. The 2 Imperial Commandos are probably my favorite figures in the set. I love the mashup of the white Imperial style with the Mandalorian armor, it just looks very cool. However, the helmet print feels a little inaccurate, as the black line in the middle feels a little too thick and does not look as good as in the show. And the chin section also seems a bit off, but I don't really know what is inaccurate about this. The torso and leg printing is amazing though, lots of details and even printing that continues over the hips, and this makes the figure look super badass. On the back side there is this jetpack piece with a printed tile on top, which is pretty neat, and you also get some back printing below. The Commander also comes with an unprinted black head, and both figures are identical, so they're very useful for army building. When it comes to the builds, I'm not the biggest fan of what LEGO delivered here. While battle packs are typically bought because of the figures and the builds are pretty forgettable, I still think that the builds can and should look better than this. You get this rocky formation with a small doorway to the right, and overall this whole build looks pretty boring and lackluster, especially when you're considering that this is the main build that you get in the set. Yeah, you can combine it with the bunker from the other set that I mentioned earlier, but overall, I don't know. The backside is sadly not much better, you get even less details, and really the only detail there is the clip next to the doorway that can hold a blaster, which, yeah, is not really much. However, when the set is filled up with minifigs, it doesn't look that bad and almost looks kind of nice. The minifigs add a lot to the scene, and with some improvements I think the set can even offer some kind of display value, which is pretty cool. Play feature wise, you can fire the little stud shooter cannon that they include in almost every battle pack build now. Yeah, I guess it's a solid play feature for kids, but nothing that gets me excited. You also get this little crate, and when you open it up you're gonna find some thermal detonators, which is pretty cool. The thermal detonators are printed, which is pretty basic as they have been printing these for years, but yeah, they're a nice add-on. But the coolest play feature for sure is this trans-clear shaft where you can simply clip a minifigure onto and let it fly around. This is super cool, as you can even display it this way, which adds a lot to the overall look and display value. So overall, while I'm not the biggest fan of the builds, I quite enjoy the figures and their print quality. This may not be my favorite battle pack, but value-wise it seems pretty fair, and you also get some pretty cool figures and an okay build that you can upgrade for display purposes, so overall I'm pretty happy. But now let me know your thoughts about the set in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, I would highly appreciate a like to support the channel. If you're new, please consider subscribing and feel free to check out my other reviews on the channel. I hope you enjoyed this quicker form of review for some older sets, as they probably aren't that interesting in a long form video, but please give me some feedback down in the comments below. Other than that, have a great day!